It is my personal belief that if you want to make more money, you have to hang out with people that make more money so you can know mentally what that lifestyle looks like, what that person acts like, what it feels like to be that person. You guys, it is a new year and a whole new vibe. I am so pumped to say goodbye to 2022 for obvious reasons. And I've just spent the last couple of days pouring into a wouldn't it be cool vision for my life. And I thought it would be fun to share with you the tactics that I've learned from a variety of masterminds, from coaching, from books that have really moved the needle for me when it came to life planning and business planning, and have also stretched me to accomplish some of my biggest money goals. So if that interests you, if you're ready to live your best life and make more money and save more money than ever before, then this video is for you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys, to the channel, and then forward it on to a friend if you find that this video is valuable. So if you're new here, I've been a residential loan officer since 2008, worked in mortgages since 2002, grew up dirt poor, became a self-made millionaire, have seen hundreds of people's financial situations in a variety of economies, from before the boom, the recession, recovery, COVID craziness, and whatever we're gonna call this. And the reason I tell you that is because I have seen enough finances and lived enough financial climates to know what are, in my opinion, the best strategies for making smart home purchases and smart money moves. And that's why I created this channel, is a resource for you to do just the same thing. And even though today's video isn't necessarily a how-to for money or a how-to for mortgage, it is one of the principles I feel the most passionate about, because it is what has guided me to have the kind of inspiration and motivation to take action in my life to move the needle in a big way. At the beginning of the year, this is the time where you're going to be the most motivated, the most inspired, and you're going to have the most discipline of any other time in the year. It is literally a magical time, but typically doesn't last longer than 30 days for most people. And the reason for that, in my opinion, is because the vision isn't strong enough, doesn't emote enough to get you past the point of discomfort. And so I want to break that down here, and what I have done personally to get myself so amped up that I don't want to hit snooze, that I want to get to the gym, that I want to save. And so my hope for you is that this video is the light past the 30 days. All right, so let's get down to business. Because this is a time of year when people set really big goals, they declare their intentions, I feel compelled to tell you that, and I mean, you can do your own research, that just the state of declaring, the setting the goal, the writing it down, the getting the accountability partner, it's just not enough, right, to make you take long-term action. And what will make you take long-term action is an emotion that's greater than your comfort level. And so one of the things that I know to be so true, and I've learned it in life, I've learned it in business, I learned it in therapy, is that we are addicted to what we know and attract what we know, and not what we think we want. And the reason for that is because we are connected, right, with what we know. It feels safe. We know how to maneuver. We know how to live with less. We know how to put up with the devil we know. And change is very scary for most people. And most of the time, the change isn't attached to an emotion or a what it means to you really, that will get you through, the level of discomfort. And so I'm going to give you a couple of examples in my personal life, right, that have really moved the needle for me. And then I'm going to talk to you about things I've changed in this phase of my life, because I still want to accomplish big things. I just want my motivation to be different. So the first is, my entire journey starts with the fear of being poor. I hated being poor. It made me feel less than, it made me feel shame. There were so many core beliefs that came from the being poor idea that I was willing to work so hard, take 2 jobs, figure out commissions, sell things, right, before I was willing to be poor. The thing that's crazy about that is I wasn't poor. I've always made money, but I never kept money and or ever didn't have money problems, because I was used to living in an environment where I didn't have enough. So I would just overspend or wouldn't save. I mean, it was very chaotic because I was used to living in chaos, okay? Now, the second thing that really moved the needle for me was when I got fired from my job. So, one of the things that was said to me when I got fired from my job was that I was the weak link in my partnership. And that always stuck with me. And I was an achiever. I worked super hard. I love every check mark, every plus you can get. I mean, I love the accolades. So, being told I was a weak link was very painful. And because it was so painful and not being a weak link meant so much to me, I was willing to wake up at 3:30 in the morning to be at work at 5 to work till 10 p.m. to make positive that I would outwork though being a weak link. And I will tell you that in both situations in my life, I was able to earn a lot of money and I was able to achieve really big things. But when you are motivated by negative things, right, like that big chip on your shoulder, with not understanding what I'm used to and what it would mean for me to know different, I just created bigger chaos of more of the same, just with more money and more accolades and more things. And so in this phase of my life, because I am very intentional, because I understand that I'm going to attract what I know and I can really lean into why I'm doing it, I want to know different things. And so it is my personal belief that if you want to make more money, you have to hang out with people that make more money so you can know mentally what that lifestyle looks like, what that person acts like, what it feels like to be that person. And you have to visualize it and really come up with a super detailed list of what the wealthier version of you looks like, feels like, has in the bank, makes an income, what the schedule looks like, where do they live, how do they dress, what investments do they have, what books are they reading, what types of people are they hanging out with. And this list has to be so encompassing that there aren't details that are missing, or if you think of details that you add to it. And you can do this with like literally any type of thing. But it has to be so cool. And so what I call this is a wouldn't it be cool list, because I try not to set any limits on it, right? I'm just trying to come up with the most exciting vision of what the next Lizzie will be and do. And then from here, I'm going to look for examples of that type of person in my life so that one, I can hang out with them and get to know them and really understand, is this what I want? And I want to be reading the things that they're reading, and I want to be doing the types of things that they're doing, because it's important, right, that we train our brains differently. So one of my biggest regrets in my life is that I had never seen a successful relationship. Like, I came from divorced parents. I had never seen what a healthy relationship looked like. Even in my friend group, I don't know however many of them in college had really great relationships to be like, oh, yep, that's what I'm looking for. And you cannot get the thing that you want without really knowing what it looks like. And you can't just get that from like just knowing what you don't want, right? So I know a lot of things I didn't want, but what I should have done is invested in like friends with quality relationships, going to Bible study with people with quality relationships, seeking out mentors of people who'd been married for a very long time. Like, I really wish that I had invested in understanding what that looked like, because I think it would have really helped my marriage out a ton. So I give you that example as just one that's very relatable, right? So that way you understand the importance of like trying to live the life, or at least trying to put yourself in the environment of the life that you really want. So once you have that wouldn't it be cool vision really dialed in, the next step is to break it up into sprints. And the sprints are going to be from 5 years, 3 years, 12 months. And then once we have the 12-month list, we're going to break it out into what can I accomplish in January, February, March, etc. And the reason that we do this is because we set no limitations. And some of these things are going to be pretty big. And I don't like to set a vision that's longer than 5 years. One, because I feel like I really do change a lot in 5 years. And two, I can accomplish so much more than I think I can when I'm being practical, right? So I just know that a lot of the things that I thought were like way outside my reach, and like 10 years plus, I actually accomplished in 3 years and 1 year. And so I was always super amazed how much more I could get done when I didn't set parameters or I didn't extend it out super long. And so once you have the 5-year, the 3-year, and the 12 months, and you've broken it out into months of what you're going to accomplish, the next thing you have to do is look at, who do I need to meet, right? Who do I need to surround myself to make this possible? 2, what resources do I need to make this possible? Then I would get your list and I would add it to your calendar, right? Because what we put on our calendars typically is priority. And then I would write down what it means to you if you accomplish it, right? Like what do you want people to know you as? And this is going to become your mantra. And this is going to be the thing that you say to yourself literally morning and night and anytime you get discouraged. I know that in my divorce process, like I had 3 words. I was like happy, healthy, and hot. I just, when you feel shitty, all of those things really get you through. And I just kept saying that to myself over and over and over again. And the thing is that, that idea has kind of morphed for me. And so my new slogan right now is $1 billion babe, because it means the same thing, but it's just in a term and a visual that means so much more to me. And so I want you guys to get that mantra down. And if you can, I want you to select imagery that helps you emote feelings on what it means to you to become this new person, to live this wouldn't it be cool life. And you can create either a vision board or what's called a mind movie that you play to music that helps you feel the way that you think that this will feel if you achieve it. And so I do this every single day. There's an example of my last mind movie on my Instagram. It's my year in review. It was what I was looking at to show me how far I had come and that I was evolving right into this happy, healthy, and hot lady, right? And so I make one every single time I get a clear vision, but it's super powerful. And if you review it once a day, right, like you will be a different person in 30 days. You'll be an even more clear person in 60 days and so on. Like you will be a completely transformed human in 12 months. And the reason for that is because you will know what it actually means to make the change. The key to motivation, right? Like we have it always so skewed. We think that we're going to just be motivated or passionate, and then that's what's going to lead us to action, and then we're going to see the big results. And I have been in business for like over 20 years, and I wish that that was the way it worked. For me, it was always like, I have to take action, then I will see progress, and then I'll finally feel passionate. But in order to take action, it has to mean something to me if I don't take the action. Like before I got divorced, working out it wasn't the priority it needed to be. Even though I said I wanted to be physically fit, I wanted to feel cute and beautiful, like it just wasn't the priority. It was once I had a real reason to get my butt to the gym. And so you have to know what it is and what it would mean to you to accomplish the big dream. So let's get to action items, okay? If you're watching this video this long, right, your very first step, guys, is to get crystal clear on the most exciting life that you could possibly live. And guys, be as detailed as possible. Income, assets, schedule, vacations, everything that you can think of, right? Then we're going to figure out, which on the list is 5 years from now, 3 years from now, 1 year from now, and we're going to break that up into months for the 1 year. And we're going to get to work putting it on our calendar, meeting up with friends that help us, hold us accountable, that live the life that we already want to achieve. We're going to start reading different things, going to different clubs, behaving differently, because we know that the life that we want means something to us for real. Okay. And so if you find that you are going to do this, right, and you are so excited about it, I would love to hear in the comments below. I'd love to personally encourage you. I'd love it if we could maybe start like a fun, side group on a wouldn't it be cool list. But let me know what you guys are trying to achieve here so that I can help support you in the best ways that I know how. Later this week, we will have a mortgage video, I promise, on what's happening with the real estate market. But I felt compelled to share this with you guys because I want you to live your best freaking lives ever. So this is all for me today, guys. Wouldn't it be cool if you lived your best life ever?